Good old, plain old Steve. That's me, you know. We look for superheroes in this day and age. We look for the people who are at the top and who shine bright, who have the perfect bodies, perfect minds, make the most money, and so on. But the beauty of life, the beauty of all things, and I feel this most especially when I'm in nature, like I am now, comes from the ordinary. And this comes into play because, well, you know, being in the coaching industry and being a coach myself, being a coach for the last 11 years and working with men really at the highest level, the elite level, all those things, all those big deals. One of the greatest changes that comes from men is when they can accept who they are. When you can be your own person in your own skin, independent from the world around you, having to have the world, society's scale of approval define your worth. When you can find the worth in yourself, that's when it's beautiful. That's when it's great. Yet we don't look for that. And how this actually came up, well, there's a couple of things I on Facebook there was like, hey, a year ago or 2 years ago, you posted this video and it had to do with be ordinary. And actually it was over 2 years ago. I'm sorry, 2 years ago. But it's one of the philosophies that we have. It's just such a unique thing that comes from a lot of the different meditation and what I really believe in and what I believe in terms of men's excellence. You know, how do we become our best selves? How do we do that? Well, we do that through becoming who we are, self-acceptance, being ordinary, finding the beauty in all things. But also it comes from something else. And this has to do with the industry itself, because I rolled jiu-jitsu last night. Well, for 4 hours. Did an hour and a half at Paragon and then 2 hours plus at 10th Planet, and I was beat. I was exhausted. In fact, it was my one night off. I was going to go see the movie Blade Runner because I haven't seen it by myself, which is always a fun way to see a movie. But I was too late because I wanted to stay rolling, and it's another story for another podcast. But I wanted to say I got my ass kicked at Paragon. Got my ass kicked. I'm no good in the gi anymore, man. It's terrible. I'm too much 10th Planet, too much no gi. And too much reliance on leg attacks, which aren't allowed at some of those schools and so on. But IBJJF. But the thing was that I wanted to continue on. I wanted to finish the class. I wanted to be a winner and feel that, because, man, there's that mini war that you feel within yourself in jiu-jitsu. And guys, please do jiu-jitsu. Fuck, man. You want a way to challenge yourself. Like every single guy in my group that does jiu-jitsu says it's one of the key factors in his personal development. Do something which tests yourself. Box, kickbox, do CrossFit, do something. Get involved in something with your body, with yourself physically, where you can be tested, where you're held accountable to the win or the loss. And it ain't about standing on a podium. It's about what is within you that you can find. And for a 40-year-old like me, man, that ain't the same anymore. So, it changes. But the thing is that I met with a buddy, and somehow we were talking about, some guy from the industry that I'm in talked shit on one of my videos. And I just told my buddy, and he's known me for like 12 years or so, and I go, man, everybody in this industry is so full of shit. And it's so crazy because this guy's talking shit about being the best, about fucking, you gotta be a winner, you gotta be on top, and Steve is saying this wandering shit, which, hey, I am. It's a video blog. Sorry, guys. But fortunately or unfortunately or whatever you want to put it, I have an audience for that. Hopefully you. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to be a part of it, Look at somebody else's stuff. But the thing is that he was saying, man, the guy is so full of shit. The guy's so fucked up in his life. And he's like, you know what the problem with you is? It's you're fucking plain old Steve. You've always been plain old Steve. You never hold authority over people. In your coaching, you don't hold a frame that you're better than, or that you've done something that's so impossible to achieve that nobody else can do it. You're somebody that has wife, kids, stable family, which in the men's development coaching industry, let alone seduction coaching industry, is pretty much non-existent. You're somebody that just lives a normal life, man. It's like you train jiu-jitsu like a motherfucker, but you're not a champion. There's tournaments that I've won. There's a lot of wins that I have and all that sort of stuff. Spiderweb. And you're just plain old Steve. But what people don't get is the big, bright, shining light motherfucker that says he's great is a fucking pussy. He's a bitch. He's nothing. And it's so sad, and that's so true. And fuck, man, it used to piss me off so bad in the coaching industry because, you know, I'd see all these other guys getting all this adoration and attention. I'd be like, this guy's teaching dudes about sex and he can't get it up with a new woman, you know, which is fine. That's very common for, if that's you, we have free PDFs in the free stuff link that'll help you out with that. But the crazy thing is that, hey man, that's all industries. Fitness industry, lifestyle industry, whatever it is, there's plenty of bullshit, way more bullshit than anything else. You can't be mad about it. But what my message to you is why can't you be the plain old you? Why can't you find the extraordinary in the ordinary? You know, why can't you find your own personal excellence in who you are? Because the moment I could do that was the moment that my life got a whole lot better. In the moment that I had to make my life about being superlative, standing on the podium, getting the first place, getting the recognition and adoration, what that was really about was about the insecurities that I had within myself. And so in so many ways, personal excellence was married to a self-hate or a self-doubt or a sense of shame and so on. And when it comes down to it, you know, I was talking about this the other day in ambition. Ambition, the pursuit of bettering ourselves, right? The idea that we could live more and live better. And I just remember a long time ago, we workshopped this big time in our men's groups. And, you know, there was somebody, actually I think it was Joe Rogan, and he said, ambition can be dangerous because we get so screwed up with it. You know, he was just kind of philosophizing on this, and he was running dialogue with one of his guests, and that it makes us like these animals and fucks us up basically. And so I thought about that a lot, and it's something that I've thought about, and you know, it's good he was putting it into words, but in our group we kind of determined that that's not ambition, that's the reaction. You see, and we mix that up. We confuse this beautiful God-given right of ambition, of thought, of carrying over, of thinking we could do better, of wanting to do better, of wanting to share with the world. We mix that up with our feeling of not being good enough, and somehow that ambition is going to solve it. See, ambition creates things. It's awesome. And some of that ambition, spider is actually on the camera. Some of that ambition may have started with insecurity, but the purity of our greatness comes from our expression. And that works best when I can chill the fuck out with my am I good enough? Am I somebody who has to be at war with something in order to have an expression? Somebody that has to be a man that is defined by how much I'm at war with women. Or somebody that loves sex so much that I'm at war with the counterculture that's anti-sex. Man, we make so much of who we are, so much of our choices, not about what we think and what we feel, but about what we're afraid to be. Man, you think any of this, I mean, look at that, there's trash on the ground, I'll zoom in on it. It's all sorts of fucked up shit in nature. See, I've always thought this about nature. You know, trees falling. There used to be there was actually a beer can stuck in it. There used to be this log, and I remember when it fell. I thought, man, goddamn, nature's brutal, nature's harsh. Nature can be harsh, but most of the time it's stable. But the coolest thing about nature is it just grows and it knows its own way. Its ambition, its pursuit for doing better, doesn't have this reason, doesn't have this sense of self tapped into it. And what's so beautiful about us having this sense of self, man, this is so cool, is that that's what got us to build things. That's what got us to create things. It's part of our mammalian function. So we're not like this tree that's set roots here and has to stay here. We're not like a cold-blooded animal that's bound by the weather. We can get up and move. We can live with a wider range of temperatures. We can do things to change and make our lives better. But the crazy thing is society has disempowered us so much as men and women, has taken away our voices. The worst thing we can do is hate society. It's a problem. I see it. I've always seen it. Man, if you look at all of my speeches, from 2006, 7, 8 on, I'm always talking about society being fucked. A lot of times, probably in the wrong ways. 10 years from now, maybe this will be in the wrong way. But the thing is that that gets us in the way of our true nature of expression, which is the true pursuit of how we better ourselves. In any case, guys, this started out with being plain old Steve, and man, give it a second. Try being plain old you for a day. Try being good with what you got. Try not getting caught up in the want. Being happy for the things that you have. Being grateful for who you are. What you have right in front of you. Those different types of things, and start there. And it's not about force, it's not about, I don't know, some moral obligation. It's about finding the true power in you that you were born to have, right? We need to be having that discussion as men. So guys, if this is something that you're into, check out what we got going, man. We got over 800 videos on our TSL channel, the Sexual Life Podcast channel. This is the Daily Awesome channel. It's a new channel, so subscribe to it. Click the bell when you subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. Check out our free stuff links, get on our courses, and guys, if you want to be a part of a men's group, literally one of the, I won't put it out there as the best, because I don't know everybody's, but it's one of the best men's groups in the world, where we get together as men, hold each other accountable to our best selves by knowing ourselves, knowing each other, and always having each other's backs. We're absent of politics, absent of ideology. All we care about is you being you and your expression. In any case, guys, check out all that stuff. I've included some videos that I recommend. My dogs are running back. Booyah! Focus. Getting back from their adventure out in the woods. And check out those videos and man, be a part of what we do here. And start that by being your best fucking self today. Later.